don't think I need to spell it out, but I will. My 19-year-old sister is a hardcore evangelical. I was there until I got to university, but it didn't open her eyes at all. Everything is still black and white. She recently discovered that while abstinence is the only guaranteed effective birth control method, you actually have to practice it. She did not. And since all other forms of birth control are a sin, they didn't use any. Idiots. She came to my apartment to ask for help. To my apartment where, according to her, I was living in sin and fornicating. Both are accurate facts that I take pride in. I asked her if it was going to be a virgin birth. She screamed at me that I was being an idiot for mocking her beliefs. I said I was mocking her hypocrisy. It's ridiculous. She asked me to help her leave the state to get a medical procedure she's actively against. I told her that I would help her out. All she had to do was tell our parents why I had to take time off work and she had to take time off school. She said that they would disown her. That may be true, I don't know, but they didn't speak to me for a year after I moved in with my boyfriend. I wouldn't actually make her do this. I love her even though she's an idiot. I took her and we came back. She's okay physically, but not so much mentally. She is having a hard time reconciling what she did. I feel bad about rubbing her beliefs in her face before agreeing to help her. Am I the idiot because I told my sister that I wouldn't help her leave the state until she told our parents? Not the idiot. You were mocking her hypocrisy, not her beliefs. She can now experiment with what she wants to impose on others. You don't have to agree to support her dishonesty. That might go against your own beliefs. She sure as heck better start sticking up for you to your parents when they bash your lifestyle. Yep, your sister is a massive hypocrite. She's also living in sin and fornicating. What a nutcase. People like your sister disgust me. Absolutely devoid of empathy, willing to oppress the rights of others by shoving their own beliefs down the throats of others. But as soon as it happens to them, oh, woe is me. My situation is different. Letting her stew for a bit is fine if it wakes her up. I saw this firsthand with an employee. I'm liberal. She's a devout Catholic, was divorcing her husband, first no, and trying for full custody of her son. She was highly verbal about being conservative and how women should suffer the consequences of their bad behavior. This is a direct quote. It was the first time I had heard children referred to as consequences to suffer. She accidentally got pregnant by her very wealthy boyfriend and freaked out because that would mess up her push for custody. So she came to me for the name of a doctor. I said, I believe in choice, but that doesn't mean I keep names in my files. Cue wailing. Please find one for me. I can't let anyone who knows me find out. I told her she needed to be responsible for her own choices. She quit on the spot. To this day, I wonder why she thought I should fix her problem for her. It amazes me that the people who scream about personal responsibility can't even Google where Planned Parenthood is. So yeah, not the idiot for a teaching moment, but know your sister may try to blame you for pushing her to get a procedure if anyone finds out. Bear in mind, some people find it more challenging than others to exit whatever cult they were brought up in. I have to go with, you are the idiot. You had a really amazing opportunity to help your sister finally open her eyes here. Instead, you took the chance to throw it in her face, and you took some selfish pride and joy in that. You still did the right thing and helped her, but that doesn't mean that you aren't being an idiot by using it as an excuse to be a jerk to her. Your sister is an idiot, but kicking her when she's down isn't the moral high ground you think it is. My mother-in-law has never worked a traditional job and is very much into the belief that all moms should do the same. Thankfully, my wife feels differently, or we wouldn't be together. We have an older toddler and a younger toddler. They both go to a great daycare near our home, Monday through Friday. It costs about $3,000 a month for the two of them and is worth every penny to me. Our older toddler seems very advanced for his age. They're teaching him Spanish, writing, and addition. That to me seems very advanced for his age. The younger one isn't quite as vocal, but she's at least counting to 10 in English and Spanish and knows all the basic animals. The teachers have certifications and are very sweet with them, and the kids love them. We love seeing the socialization. My mother-in-law and father-in-law recently downsized their home and, to our chagrin, moved to a condo very close to us. They were previously about 90 minutes away. Since moving, my mother-in-law's tried convincing us to let her watch the kids instead of sending them to daycare. At first, she said she'd happily do it for half the cost, just to use it as fun money, and now she's offering to do it for free. Neither my wife nor I are interested in this, but my wife is worse at standing up to her and just tries to avoid the conflict. The other day, she was going on about family values again and trying to say that I'm throwing money away every month when that should be saved or put in a college fund. My wife told her we don't want this discussion again, and then mother-in-law said something to the effect of, "So you really think spending over 30 grand is worth your fancy daycare when you have family who will watch them?" I responded and said, "Yes, it's easily worth it. I can't think of a better investment, to be honest." Mother-in-law got cranky and left shortly after. I haven't talked to her directly since, but she's been complaining about me to my wife, who now says I was being too harsh. Was I being an idiot here? Not the idiot. Your wife is somewhat failing to sit her mother down and firmly tell her no, and to drop it, to not bring it up again. Also, her behavior demonstrates that if you allowed her to care for the kiddos, she would really start flexing her interfering ways, and it would be even more challenging to create healthy boundaries with her. OP, daycare offers a lot of things that staying at grandma's doesn't. Socialization is among the most important of those. You are fortunate enough to be able to do this for your kids. Don't give up all the advantages just because mother-in-law is bored. Some people have a script in their head of how things should be and get surprised when other people don't follow it. Your poor mother-in-law, you're screwing up her plans. She moved close to you for the sole purpose of getting her hands on those grandchildren, and you're foiling her attempt. Yes, I'm totally sarcastic here, but your wife's got to toughen up. I hope she doesn't go behind your back and pull them out of daycare and start having mom watch your kids. Ensure the daycare knows that grandma and grandpa are not allowed to pick the children up ever. Good luck. I hope your wife firms up her backbone. My dad is not my bio dad. He's raised me since I was 7 months old, though. My bio father was in and out of my life and was not good to me. I never really wanted him around. I had such a good relationship with my dad, and I knew love and family with my parents over the guy who just wanted to mess with my mom and stop me from being adopted, but never showed any interest in me as his flesh and blood kid. I have younger siblings from my parents. My dad has siblings, nieces, and nephews, and both parents are alive. I'm so close to his parents. My grandparents never saw me as less than their grandchild. Blood and legality never mattered. I was one of theirs, and they were my granny and grampy. Grampy was born from my inability to say grandpa as a little kid for some reason. LOL. I got married to my amazing wife, Kaylee, and my wife and I are now expecting a baby girl. Granny approached us and said that she wanted to clarify that if we wanted, and there was no pressure, we could consider using the family girl's name for our daughter. It's a name usually used in the middle name, but every few generations, it gets used as a first name and usually goes for the first granddaughter. My wife and I loved the idea, and we loved the name, so we decided to use it as a first name, which made Granny so happy, and my dad actually cried when he heard it. But the other members of my extended family were not pleased. I was accused of stealing the name from the legitimate first granddaughter, the one who would be blood, and from my cousins, who should have been the first priority to use the name. My grandparents and dad said my daughter and I are legitimate members of this family, and I stole nothing. Granny even said she offered it to me, but extended family said I should have the common sense and the compassion to understand I'm not an actual blood member of the family, and neither is my daughter. A fight broke out over this, and I know most of the extended family firmly blame me for agreeing to use the name. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your grandmother offered you and your wife the name. For those who are saying you're not actual blood, what the heck does blood have to do with the name? Grandmother offered the name to you for a reason. She considers you to be family because you are family. The negative remarks from others just show you who they really are. Selfish people. I would just tell them to go ahead and use the name as well. It's not like the kids are going to interact much anyway, since they're not real family. Are they even expecting? Wild to reserve a family name for a kid that may never exist. Either way, having two cousins with the same name is normal. My boyfriend's family has like 20 Carmens. Right? My husband's family and the 3 generations of men, including his brother, all have the same first name. It's ridiculous, but who cares? Also, there's no such thing as stealing a name. There are 7 billion or something other people on the earth. Don't hurt your granny by turning down this precious gift she offered by listening to others' opinions. Hers is the only one that matters. It would disrespect her to turn it down, since you love the name. Screw the haters. I, 30 female, am married to my husband, 31. As much as I love him, he's extremely forgetful. The most of that forgetfulness being with little stuff, like forgetting his water bottle at home, or forgetting to close drawers or cabinets. Oh, this crap gets to me, indeed. And I don't really think it's carelessness, but he genuinely looks around and doesn't remember to do it. A couple of days ago, he started writing notes on the doors to make sure he closed them, but he still forgets to close some cabinets or drawers sometimes. And mark my words, once our kid, male toddler, is old enough to start kindergarten, he will forget to pick them up. Well, on Friday when he left for work, he left at least 2 drawers open and the microwave door open, and he forgot his drink and food. I was actually surprised by the food, since he never forgets it. I did drive to his job to give him his drink. Insert mental image of a 6-month pregnant trying to fit into a Q7. When I got there, he retrieved his stuff, and I asked him to give me $50 for my time and gas. It's not cheap. When he got home, he asked me if the whole pay thing would be a regular thing, and I told him he could always just remember his stuff. He just laughed and walked away, but he's not taking me seriously, and I'm asking here to see if I would be wrong if I did. Am I the idiot? If it cost you $50 in gas money to drive to him, and you manage finances separately, comping you the gas money isn't terrible. However, nickel and diming a partner is deeply crummy. Charging him for your time, though, and as a penalty, is a decidedly idiot move. This behavior is not normal, and it's much more likely that your husband has a cognitive issue. He's already leaving sticky notes everywhere to try and correct himself. Effort is not the problem here. Maybe look past your annoyance to consider your partner's health and well-being. You are the idiot. This guy sounds like me, and I have ADHD. I'm not saying it's not frustrating, and he should have it addressed. Still, it's also incredibly frustrating to notice the behavior in yourself and not know how to deal with it. So yes, you are the idiot, and you better hope you live a life of perfect health, never needing assistance from him, because someday, if you're getting older and require assistance going up a set of stairs, get ready for him to say, sure, $50. Your husband is trying. He's not doing this out of a general lack of care. He's taking steps to rectify the issue. You have zero faith in your husband. Genuinely, do you even like him? It sounds like your husband is concerned about his memory issues, while you're just angry and acting out of pettiness. Punishing him for a mistake when he's obviously trying is a crappy, surefire way to end up a single mom of 2. Good luck. I, 41 male, have 2 kids with my ex-wife, 42, a son, John, 22, and a daughter, Sally, 20. I'm remarried to my wife, 28. I'm very close with my kids. My son is engaged to Abby. She seems nice, but has been a bit pushy trying to create a relationship with my wife and me, though she's also awkward with her. Abby isn't close to her family. She told us many stories about why, and while some of her complaints don't seem awful, it's not my place to judge, and I didn't live it, so I can't know anyway. We've tried to be welcoming, but Abby has forced her way into some family traditions to which she wouldn't have been invited, and somewhere no one outside of a specific family would have. She's been calling Sally sis since they were only dating a few months, has an odd sister-mother-in-law thing she does with my wife, and the one I'm not a fan of wants me to be like a father to her. Not because we've clicked or anything. We're very different people. I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying it's not based on how we get along or anything. My kids and I have a tradition when they come over that they have a catch up in my office or study before they leave, which is now even more important to them because while they both get along well with my wife, they don't want to have personal conversations around her yet. Abby asked if we could talk, and after I explained the tradition, John later requested that I do it, saying she'd never had a caring conversation with her dad. We compromised that I didn't include her in the tradition, but did join the two of them for coffee and let her talk. Then she started calling me dad. They weren't even engaged yet. John pulled me aside and begged me to give her that, laid this whole thing on me about always being the dad she always wanted, right in front of her, and she just wanted that. Told me she cried watching Sally and me together. She still gives me random hugs. I'm a lucky dad. I didn't like it, but I did feel bad, so I gave her that. She wants me to walk her down the aisle and the father-daughter dance. I don't want to walk her down the aisle, and I walk with the cane, so dancing is hard. At my own wedding, I only danced twice. John is begging me to do one, preferably in the aisle. They came over on Sunday. John and I were talking, and I thought to address it when Abby walked in, without knocking, asking if he'd told me yet. I asked, what? John said he wanted me to say something about having a second daughter now in my speech, and how I loved her. I just looked at him. She asked if I'd do the walk and dance for Sally. I said, of course. She yelled that she was my daughter too, and I said it would never be the same. Sally was my actual daughter. I tried to explain that I'd talk about her being a happy addition to the family, and that I love how happy she makes Jack, which I thought was a good compromise. But she started crying. John apologized and they left, but he called me when they were home, nearly begging me to. Am I the idiot because I won't lie and say I love her or how she's my daughter? Not the idiot. You have your boundaries. Abby sounds like she's developed this fantasy involving you and your family. That can't be healthy. And yelling at you? You will tell people you love me? You will tell people I'm your second daughter. You will have a good time at my wedding. Red flags. Yeah, this doesn't sound like it's about you or Sally as actual people. It's about Abby's fantasy of having a family. It makes me wonder how much she really even knows you or Sally. There's nothing wrong with her wanting a family, but she's gone about it wrong. Relationships grow and develop over time. You don't just claim someone as family or have an instant relationship with them. She could definitely benefit from therapy. It's perfectly okay to gently correct her and say, actually, Abby, I'd prefer to be called Mark. You must keep correcting her. She pushed this far with the aisle speech because you've given an inch with the dad, etc. You need to put your foot down with your son and her. If this continues, someone in the family will get fed up and might explode on them, and it won't be pretty. What if that confrontation comes at the wedding? This needs to be sorted out now before the relationship and interactions continue. Otherwise, consider lowering the amount of contact you have with your son and his wife.